Thank you, Chairman. And Deputy Secretary, thank you for being here today. You're on record supporting AB 257, and this bill creates a fast food council of 10 unelected government bureaucrats to dictate wages and working conditions for California restaurant businesses. And this bill forced unionization on workers who never even asked for it. And it took independence away from small business owners, and it gave it to unelected bureaucrats. Deputy Secretary Sue, California voters have gathered enough signatures to prevent AB 257 from taking effect. So will you push policies as the Secretary of Labor, like you did in California, that take away the independence of job creators?
Thank you very much, Senator. It's nice to see you here today. I believe that bona fide independent contractors will always have a place in our economy. They have and they will, and they're very, very important. I'm not positive if AB 257, I believe you're talking about a
Well, let me just go back
bill,
to the
okay.
last part of the question, which is, will you push policies as Secretary of Labor, like you did in California, that take away the independence of job creators? That's more of a yes or no with minor explanations.
No, and to be clear, I would absolutely respect the authority of this body, of you, to make laws that I, if confirmed, will be charged with enforcing.
Thank you. You've called the ABC test a model for the country. Yet voters in California decided that it shouldn't even be a model in that state, with nearly 60% of voters overturning the part of the law that applies to app-based ride-sharing and delivery services. AB 5 also resulted in a list of carve-outs for industries that was longer than the law itself. Aside from the fact that California lawmakers are obviously picking winners and losers, it seems obvious that a law requiring more than 100 separate carve-outs, it's deeply flawed. Deputy Secretary, do you believe that California's AB 5 is a model for the Department of Labor to build its federal labor policy on?
Thank you, Senator. I believe that AB 5 was a bill passed by the California legislature and given to me in my then role to enforce. I do not believe that the ABC test that is codified in AB 5 is federal law, and I do not believe that I could make it federal law unless you all made it federal law.
Let me push just a little more. So in your comments to Senator Cassidy, you said the Department of Labor does not have the authority to implement the ABC test, but do you still think it's a good model for the country?
I think, Senator, that bona fide independent contractors have a place in our economy and need to be able to operate. I also believe that misclassification, meaning when you have someone who should be an employee but is called an independent contractor, maybe they work side by side with other people who are doing the exact same thing as they are, but they're called an independent contractor, so they're not protected by minimum wage, overtime, unemployment insurance, and other laws, and the employees are, that is a problem in our economy that needs to be addressed.
So thank you. I want to shift gears to rulemaking. The fiduciary rule is still on the regulatory agenda this year, despite the fact that the last time this rule was issued, it had devastating effects, causing 10.2 million low and middle income individuals to lose access to investment assistance. I have serious concerns with the DOL re-implementing a failed standard, not to mention the potential mismatch of industry standards that might arise between it and the SEC's Reg Best interest. So I'm curious how much taxpayer money the DOL and the DOJ previously spent on implementation and litigation of the disastrous 2016 fiduciary rule, and how much both departments would project to spend should the Labor Department move forward with another rule. Any idea how much you would spend on that, on implementation and litigation?
So, Senator, thank you. I don't know the answer. I was not here in 2016. I will say that your point is precisely why it's so important for us to engage with all stakeholders before adopting any rule.
Hopefully that includes 10.2 million low and middle income individuals who have lost access to investment assistance. So I'm out of time. I'm going to be opposing your nomination. I do appreciate your time today, and I yield back to the chair.